Oh yeah, let's look at some pip decks. This is a VR to James Feeney, who recently showed his favorite pip decks. And in my opinion, he forgot a very important one. The Thoth, darling. Where was this one? I asked him and he said he doesn't even consider this one a pip deck anymore because it's kind of like, what did he say? So natural to him. I think it's his favorite deck, and I really am, you all know it, am having a Thoth moment, which might very well be becoming a real, true... Actually, I really do feel that it's already a real, true connection, but I have much more to learn still, and even to really get to know it. You know, I got to know the Rider-Waite-Smith so extremely well because it was my first deck and my first system and the first cards that I studied every single card in depth, and I know them by heart, and I feel that these ones I don't really know by heart yet. But I loved his video and I wanted to do it as well. So I guess the first pip deck is the Thoth, especially the greenie. I'm not trying to brag or anything, or I mean, lots of people don't actually like the greenie because of the green hue on all the cards, which means that none of them have the correct colors, if you will. But I really, really love this deck. It's big, it gives that sense of sacredness, it's ritual, it's very deep, beautiful artwork by Lady Frieda Harris. Of course, Aleister Crowley had this deck made, and as you can see, it is a pip deck, but I'd say it's a little bit more open or free because there's this background as well, and you know, for instance, here these are pomegranate cups, and there are no other cups in the entire suit of cups that look like this. Every card and every suit and every symbol is different. I love this deck. I have read with it, and I was really proud of myself. I read with it for clients the other day because I figured with the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, opening my eyes and really making me question some stuff about my practice and about the images that I see in my spiritual practice every day, really made me question, you know, do I really want to show a deck that shows only white people to my clients? I want to read full for everyone. And yeah, strangely enough, I just picked the Thoth, even though I definitely I am more familiar with Marseille, but I kind of read it in the same way anyway. I feel like, yes, different images spark different things. Like here, I feel it is very similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith, what you feel. But it's also, you can apply the whole Marseille numerology suit directional reading thing and connecting it to the majors. The 5 would be the Hierophant. But I do that in Rider-Waite-Smith already, so it was really just that switch of just mindset. I'm not saying that everyone should do it, but it's just the way that these times, that's what it, you know, I don't know, awoke in me, fueled in me to do and to change about my practice. And I don't know if I'm going to stick to Thoth, but I was able to give the readings that I usually give. You know, the readings that I feel are mine, that I give to the clients. Yeah, I was glad that it wasn't due to which deck I was working with. Because I have done some Marseille readings, but never with the Thoth. And this time I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And actually, I got many compliments on this deck. Many people said, these are beautiful images. And they are. Now, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but the fact that this deck, I don't know, this deck wasn't in my Council of 7 video because I didn't know it well enough back then. I hadn't worked with it enough, but it is definitely one of the councils now. Now that I understand that it's the more I work with it, the less I'm thinking about the Lima, Crowley, the Golden Dawn, and the more it is blending with my understanding of what tarot is, what spirituality is, what a good message is to hear, what shadow work is, blending with my own voice and my own taste and my own subconscious. This, oh my God, this whole net of stars, and it's a whole thing, and I kind of feel that it's very magical, this Thoth. I know not everyone likes this deck, and I understand that it's the maker of the deck is controversial, but I have a whole video about that. I feel that in those strict days, he had to be controversial. I sure hope this is all in focus. Maybe I should back everything up a little bit more, just to be sure. I don't know. Anyway, I felt that when learning the tarot, the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery came into my dreams, but when I saw the Thoth for the first time, I recognized images that I had seen in my dreams in these cards. And I'm talking about that very randomly just because the High Priestess or the Priestess card came up right now in this, showing of some cards of the deck. And I feel that that is truly magical. And the connection is made, and I feel that it is a very deep, balanced deck. Yes, its message often is related to will, which is why I still feel it's a fiery deck. Apart from that, it is very balanced, because will can be anything that you want. That's obvious, but you know what I mean? It's still very balanced. I feel that it is becoming more of a friend that I know, and it knows me in return. That kind of connection that we all have with these, images that we use for spiritual practice. And fire is also very closely related to spirit, and I really do feel that. And I also feel that I need that in my life at this very moment. I mean, yeah. I love the simplicity of the pips, and at the same time the complexity of every card. The complexity and the depth and the 5 different layers that every card has. It's and we started off right in the beginning looking at the 5 of Wands, right? And that's like one of the only cards that isn't very deep. I mean, yes, it is deep in message, but in artwork it's just has this yellow background, and in this deck, of course, yellowy, mustardy green. But I feel that is deliberate. I feel that the 5 of Wands is kind of like a punch in the face, and so it's there. It's there, and it's a shock, and it's just that very moment. The moment, imagine you being punched in the nose, and that very moment where you just cannot immediately react because that happened. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm lacking words in English. I'm just saying that, it doesn't have that background like this, the 8 of Cups, where it's all about going in depth, going into the waters, into the subconscious, and this is all about that. I don't know, more. I don't have enough words. I'm just trying to say that punch in the face kind of moment, kind of understanding. And I feel that, at least to me, I understood this card in the way that, that was deliberate, and that was what was meant, why the card is drawn, is painted this way. Also, name dropping here all over, well, I mean, small channels, but really interesting topics. Lennon Smith is, love you girl, all about the Thoth, and she does Thoth Thursdays, I believe. And she said something so interesting about the tarot pips. And of course in this deck it's not exactly going to work, but she was talking about the color wheel and how many of these pips feel so, they actually have that reaction because this yellow is on the opposite side, is a complementary color of this dark blue. Just look at the video. I will link it below. So, whole long story about this pip deck, the Thoth, which, oh my god, I cannot believe it. It has become one of my favorites. I don't know how I even started tarot without it. It's so strange how long that took. Okay, second in this list. Not in a particular order, but this won't be a surprise. This is my Trionfi de la Luna, my favorite deck is what I've called it, and I still have this very deep, strong connection to it. Like that. Ooh, I hope the glare wasn't on all of the Thoth cards. Yeah, I love this because it's a traditional Marseille, except for, I mean, in the pips, I should say. The quartz and the majors are quite untraditional, but that is why I love them. That is how I feel I can connect to them, because honestly, I keep saying I love Marseille, but really, I like the Marseille pips, and I like the Marseille system and the way that I read with it, the way that it opens up your mind, the way that you don't have scenic pips, and so there isn't a particular situation or scene or advice or anything that is planted into your head. It's really just about the symbolism that triggers all of these answers that are actually already inside of you. They just give a clear direction where you should look, what they should be. Yeah? I love this deck because it's the only... No, there's another one. There's this stone blue or whatever. Marseille, which has dark backgrounds. This one has dark backgrounds, and it also glows under black light, which I like to do every so often for a little bit of a, yeah, more special private reading, I'd say. But I love this one because it's dark, it feels like my evil twin, or really, and I say that in a loving way because I love this deck. It feels like it's okay to be me kind of thing, and I love that it's all so, you know, Patrick Valenza-y, creepy. And I really like what he did, even with the, you know, the pips. There are faces all over the place. There are eyes all over the place. And that really does kind of like liven up in a way, in a sense. There are things happening in these cards, you know? See that with the moons and the curls and the thingies and there is much more going on than just 10 wands. Oh, and I love this. I just love her. She looks so fulfilled and happy and on top, and oh yeah. I have another video about this deck because I love it so much. It's called Your Favorite Deck or something like that, which some people did a VR to, and I'll just link that below so this video won't be crazy long, because I know I already talked way too much about the Thoth deck. Oh, but yeah, I really, really love this deck. I wanted to say something special about each deck, you know, not talking about the cardstock and the quality and the artwork necessarily. I really wanted to talk about these decks in the sense of what they bring me, you know? And I feel that I kind of did that, but maybe just watch my Council of 7 video with this deck in it, and also the #1 tarot deck video, because I picked this one for that. Recently made this box, Le Tarot de Marseille par Polka. So Polka is obviously, you know, an artist name, not a real name, Polka. At least That's what I think. And I understand, of course, not everybody speaks French, but par means by. So here it says the Tarot of Marseille, the Tarot de Marseille by Polka. So the tarot deck is called the Polka Tarot deck, right? So I recently made this box, and it's cute. I used the extra cards. This is so cool. And so now I actually get to look at them. It's a tuck box, as you can see, but really very sturdy. So I'm really happy that that worked out. This is, oh, well, there you go. My least favorite card comes up first. Haven't worked with this deck in probably over a year. It's not a Marseille, actually, because in Marseille pips, for instance here, the 9 of swords, well, first of all, we would see 9 swords, and we would see them arranged in a certain way. And here you see they really derive from that, although some cards are traditional. But you see here 10 swords, no way that this is a Marseille. It's just a pip deck, but it's cool. It's really, I love again the darker vibe about this deck, but it is definitely a little bit less inviting than the Trionfi de la Luna. I feel that in this deck, the people depicted don't know each other and don't care to know each other. They are just living their own creepy, lonely lives, and even though the colors are very deep, I don't know, maybe it is a little bit distant. That could also just be because I don't work with it that often anymore. Used to be in my top 5. And you know, these are the good cards. These are the cool cards. This is the King of Wands. You can work with this stuff, you know. But not every card has this quality. Or, by quality I mean, not every card takes it there, you know. But still, very interesting. And I do like it. Yeah. So that's another one. You know, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of pip decks. I don't have a lot of decks. Let me see. Pip decks, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe only 6 pip decks. I have the Krans Wild Unknown, which, yeah, is a pip deck. I have the 3 of Cups here on my tarot table displayed because this is the card of the month for me in my year ahead spread, and I love it because it's an animal based deck, or animal deck. There are no people depicted in that deck. Everything, you know, is kind of raw, black and white, but then sometimes there's color added. I like the deck when I work with it, but I don't reach for it necessarily all the time because it is a little bit on the minimal size. I mean, I love this card, the World card. It's really a good deck. I do love it. It's just, I don't reach for it necessarily. I really have to make the conscious decision of, now I'm going to work with the Wild Unknown, because it is a gem, and it did change modern tarot. Yeah, it did. Well, the Pagan Otherworlds, I have that. I do consider that a pip deck. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith pip deck. We've all seen that one. We all love it. It is gorgeous. It's beautiful. But again, the minimalism. I don't know. Is it strange that I feel that this deck is less minimal than the the Wild Unknown and the Pig in Other Worlds. I actually don't think it is, because you see Patrick added so much stuff that I really do feel absolutely fits in with the energy of the card. And so maybe this is my, it doesn't feel like a Pip deck, except that I'm very aware that it's Marseille anyway, and I love that, so not exactly the same. Okay, last one. Oh my gosh, that laugh was ugly. Okay, so I don't know why, but is this a Pip deck? Because in my mind it is. The Crow's Magic Tarot. This is the last deck I acquired. Was on my wish list for a long time, and it's crazy. It's one of those super ugly decks that I just had to work with. There are, you know, pictures on every card, but still it reads like a Pip deck, but it reads nicely like a Pip deck. This deck is so weird, way out there. It has dinosaurs, it has moths, it has many different wild animals, it has UFOs and these weird collage computer art type things. Now, none of that is my taste, and this, you know, it's just butt ugly, really. But I love it, and that is what makes it beautiful to me, actually. I get deep messages from it. I kind of don't mind the keywords these days. I used to hate words on cards, and now it's just like, I'm at that point where I actually love a deck that looks like this, that looks nothing like traditional tarot cards, that has keywords, that has this computer art from the 90s or whatever, 2000s, I don't even know. But I love the darkness of the deck, and I love that in the video where I unboxed this deck, or where I opened this deck, because of course it was secondhand, that I caught on to this fleeting moment thing that happens with this deck. I feel like I'm standing in a dark room, and there's just one beam of light, really bright light, and nothing happens, and it's quiet, and all of a sudden through the beam of light a bird flies, or a panther runs, and these are visions from the mind, and they surprise me, or something like that. And I feel so far with this deck, I knew that I would love it, I knew that I would connect to it, I knew that it was fiery, dark, and, you know, the crow, raven, which is an energy that I love. But the thing with those visions, I mean, like these types of images, I feel that, yes, I see them, yes, they flash before my eyes, it looks like fire on a dark night because of the contrast, but it doesn't mean that I get the message immediately. This deck definitely makes me dig for the message, because it's not just 10 cups, you know what I mean? Very intriguing, interesting, strange. Wish the butterfly wasn't there. I mean, this, you know, even if the whole deck was just this, would love that. But it goes a little bit in these weird directions, which I feel does make a whole nonetheless. And if you have this deck and haven't read with it in a while, I suggest please do. Please talk to it again, because I feel something special, something true. And that doesn't often happen for me with modern decks, to be honest. Is the Tarot of the Crone a Pip deck? What do you think? Is it a Pip deck? Comment below, because it's freaking gorgeous, and it's deep, and the booklet is amazing, but it definitely just deserves an honorable mention. I don't even know what a pip deck is anymore. Okay guys, these are my treasures. I love these. Thank you so much for the inspiration of this video. Please, everyone watching this, if you have many pip decks or even a few like me that you love and feel should have a little bit more time in the spotlight, please do a VR to James's video. And why is it that you love or maybe don't love pip decks? I love the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I also love pip decks because I feel, as I explained, it gives room in the interpretation, it opens up the mind, it gives more, room and access more easily to this broader spectrum of the message. And I feel that that is something I'm definitely looking for. And pip decks provide that, if you know what I mean. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. I truly hope that you will share your opinion, you will share maybe what your favorite pip deck is and why, and what kind of messages this deck brings, because we're talking about something that is so abstract but so meaningful, and that is absolutely magical, isn't it? It's like a box of sigils, really. So I really hope you take the time to let me know, and I will see you all in the next one.